Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I will be showing you step by step how you can create and use dependencies in Smartsheet. Okay, so I have a very simple and basic chart to show you this in the most simple way possible, but no matter how complex or advanced your Smartsheet is, the fundamentals and the things that you will learn in this video will work in the exact same way. So essentially, this Smartsheet is tracking my soda company startup from research and development all the way through to creating the product, setting up marketing and sales, and everything that we need from start to finish to set this company up. So let's now go in and set up some dependencies. The first thing that we need to do, if you do not already have this on your table, is we need to add both a start and end date column. So let's go in and do that. We can right click on this last column and go insert column right. And this first column I'm going to enter is the start date of the task. Then we can go to date right here. And this is very important as well, so I'm going to accept. If you only have an end date, you will not be able to use contingencies. You need both a start and end date. The reason for this is if I go in and I try to add some dependencies, so I go edit project settings, we can see to access the project settings, this sheet must have two date columns to display a date range. So we need both a start and end date. So I can right click in, insert column right, and in here we will go, or instead of end date, we will go due date. And then once again, we can select the date option. Now we have both of these in. I'm not sure why they are turned to blue. I'm just going to go through and add a start and due date for each of the tasks that I have on this list. So with research and development, we are going to start this on today's date. And then I'm going to give my team until the end of August to finish this. I'm going to tackle this with the big picture in mind, so I'm going to ignore these subtasks for now and jump right into licensing and legal fees. Now, each of these cannot start after the other, so I don't want my team to start working on licensing and legal fees before we've done research and development. So in an ideal world, I will start this the day after. So what I'm going to do is go in here and we have the end of August to complete the research and development. So let's start this on the 1st of September. Now, licensing and legal fees, getting these business registrations and trademark and patents shouldn't take too long. So I'm only going to give my team 2 weeks to do this. So let's say the 14th of September. And then so on and so forth. I'm basically just going to go down here and add in all of the different dates. So ideally, this is going to start on the 15th of September. And for facility and equipment, getting manufacturing equipment, getting facilities, this is going to take a pretty long time. So I'm going to give my team from the 15th of September all the way to the 15th of November. So then I'm just going to go down and fill in the rest of this information, just like I have then. Keeping in mind that I cannot start the next task until the previous task has been complete. So I've added the start and due date for the main task categories that I have. And these at the bottom, factoring in labor costs and contingencies as like emergency funds. I'm going to disregard these as we don't want to track them. So all I'm now going to do is go in and fill in the subtasks. So these are going to be within these dates. As an example, we can go to July right here. We can start product formulation today. And for product formulation, I will give my team until the 14th to complete this. And then all we are going to do is go from the 14th all the way through to the due date right here. Just like that, and set that up right there. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these in for the rest of these subtasks. Perfect. So we now have the start and due date for all of these tasks. Now to actually go ahead and add in dependencies, all we are going to do is go to any of these columns at the top, right click, and then from here we can go down and click into edit project settings. Then right here we can see dependencies, so we need to make sure dependencies are enabled. And as soon as we do that, you can see it's going to add to the chart predecessors and duration. So we want to leave the predecessor and duration column as they are. They allow you to change this, but just leave it as it is. And then we can also select the working days for your company. So by default, this is going to be set to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the length of day is 8 hours. So this is perfect. And then if you have any holidays in here, so for example, if we weren't going to work Christmas, then what I would do is type in right here, like the 25th of the 12th of 24. This is UK dates, by the way. The date format is the UK. So that's why it's set up like that. Then we can see non-working days or holidays is 1. And if we want to add more, we just add a comma right there. And then we can fill in the other dates. But I'm just going to leave this as it is and click on OK. And just like that, the duration column is automatically going to be filled in. So what I'm actually going to do is, this looks a little bit confusing right now, but I'm going to color this like the rest of the chart so it makes it easier to see. So we can add this as purple, this is purple, this is purple, this is purple, and this is purple. And then I'm just going to leave these down here. And then for the rest of them, I'm going to add them as gray, and this is going to match the rest of the chart. So that should make things a little bit easier to see. And right here in the duration, we can see we have the duration to complete all of these tasks. So we can see research and development from the start date to the end date. We have 30 days to complete this. Then for the subtasks, for product formulation, we have 17 days. For market research, we have 14 days, and so on and so forth. Now, once we have that, in predecessors, this is where we can actually go ahead and set up dependencies. So to do this, we can see research and development is the first task that we will be doing. So we don't want to set a predecessor for this because this is the very first thing. So the first predecessor that we want to set is licensing and legal fees. So we can click into predecessors right here and then click on this little pencil icon. And in here, we can now go in and edit these predecessors. So the first thing that we are going to do is go into totals right here. And then we can go for research and development because this is the thing that we are depending on. So research and development. And then right here, we go type. So we have a few different options. The main one that you will be using is finish to start. Now, start to finish basically means that the previous task needs to be finished before we can start this next task. So this is the main one that we will be using. We can also set up some other options like finish to finish, which would mean once we finish research and development, we also finish licensing and legal fees. Start to start means that if we start research and development, we start licensing and legal fees at the same time. And then start to finish would mean once we start licensing and legal fees, then we would finish research and development. So I'm going to leave this as finish to start. So we finish research and development and start licensing and legal fees. And then we also have lag right here. So lag essentially means if you want to leave a little delay between the finish and the start, you could set that up. So what I could do is enter 7 here. And what that would mean is there would be a 7-day break between once I finish research and development to when I start licensing and legal fees. But I'm going to leave this off. From here, we can click on OK. And as you can see, this predecessor column is just going to fill with a 1. Now, to show you how this is actually going to look in process, I'm going to switch from the grid view to the Gantt view so that we can pull a Gantt chart up. And then over here, we can see the Gantt chart. So we can see along the top, we have research and development, and then we have this arrow that points to licensing and legal fees. So as soon as we finish this task, we start this task right here. We could also set this up in a different way, where we do this with subtasks rather than the main category. So just to show you this, as soon as I delete predecessor, that arrow is going to disappear. So then we could start with product formation and set the predecessor up under market research. So once again, we could click in and go totals. This time we would go for product formulation because this is what we are depending on. And then once again, finish to start, add no lag, add that in right there. And you can see that arrow is going to jump in. Then we could essentially say that we want to start licensing and legal fees after we have finished market research. So we would go to licensing and legal fees, click in right here, and then choose market research as this is what we are depending on, finish to start, and that's going to add the dependency right there. So as you can see, we now go from product formulation, we start market research, and then we can start licensing and legal fees. But we also do want to add research and development into here. So we actually do want to add 2 predecessors because we want to say once we have finished market research and we have finished the research and development entirely. So we can just click back in. And this time we are depending on research and development. So we would enter that in, finish to start. And then as you can see, we now have these 2 arrows. One is from research and development, and then one is from market research. So then for business registration, we are going to be starting this once we have finished with research and development and market research. So once again, we can go into business registration right here, click on this. And then the first dependency that we are going to add is once research and development has finished. So we can select research and development, finish to start. And then the second one we are going to add is market research. So in here, we select market research, finish to start, and OK. And as you can see, this is now going to be set up. So once we have finished research and development and market research, This is going to start the task of licensing and legal fees, and of course the first one in here, which is business registration. Then we would go to trademark and patents, this next one along. And then once we have finished business registration, so we add business registration, finish to start, okay. And then as you can see, that's going to start right there. Then I think you're starting to get the hang of this now, but we would be starting facility and equipment once we have completed both the licensing and legal fees category, and we have also completed this last trademark and patents. So we click in to facility and equipment, and in here we can say we need to wait for licensing and legal fees, finish to start, and trademark and patents. So we go down, select this, okay. And as you can see, both of these are now going to lead to this area. So then we go to this next one, manufacturing and equipment. And then we say to start this subtask, once again, this is the first one. So we wait for licensing and legal fees and trademark and patents. So once again, we would click in. We want to go for licensing and legal fees and trademarks and patents. And as you can see, once we have finished these, it's going to start this main category and it's going to start this subtask. So the subtasks are very easy, facility, lease, and rent. All we need to do is finish manufacturing and equipment. So we say manufacturing and equipment, perfect. And that now leads into this. And then for utilities, we are waiting for facility, lease, and rent to be complete. So we go here, facility, lease, and rent, start to finish. And as you can see, this is really starting to come along now. We can see on the Kanban board all of the dependencies leading to each other. Once we have completed the last subtask, meaning that we also complete the category, we start the next category, meaning we also start the next subtask. Then this subtask leads to this subtask, and once the last subtask has been complete, of course this means the end of the category, so this leads into the next category, meaning the start of the first subtask as well. So that is how you can use dependencies in Smartsheet. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button, and until next time, take it easy.